You're in charge.
I'm in charge. So as you guys can see, we're the Great Give. You know, it's going to be our second year. We're really excited about it. Can you guys hear me good in the back? Okay. This is our second year, and we're really excited about it. You know, last year was the first year, and we've gone through and we've learned some things to help our organizations in terms of our orientations, what other opportunities we should provide to them up front. And so as we go through these next couple of months, we're really looking forward to helping you amplify your opportunities to really maximize this chance for you guys. Because we know very often through our grant making processes that not everyone tends to fit the scope of what we're looking for or our guidelines. But this is just another opportunity to support our local organizations within Palm Beach and Martin counties. So this year, our current partners, once again, the same core group we had last year, Community Foundation for Palm Beach and Martin counties, United Way of Palm Beach County, and also our partner just north of us, United Way of Martin County. So when you really look at the Great Gives, a couple things we're looking at. One is raising awareness about the importance of philanthropy and building a strong community. It's not just about, you know, how can we maximize the opportunity to raise funds, but also twofold. The philanthropy side, you know, ensuring our donors, making the connection with them, with the nonprofits, but also our nonprofits to have an opportunity to bring in resources to their organization as well. Being a part of the largest online giving event in this county. You know, as I mentioned, last year was the first year. We're really looking to amplify it even more. Last year we had about 330 organizations participate between Palm Beach and Martin counties. This year we're really shooting for a higher goal on the nonprofit side, but also we're really looking at raising more of the bonus pool dollars to support your organizations as well. National, local, and marketing support. As my colleague Jennifer will talk about in a few minutes about the national level, Give Local America, who's really providing a platform on a national level to support the giving days throughout the country, but also locally in Palm Beach and Martin counties. You know, you have United Way, who has tremendous support and constituents with the media. You have our Community Foundation, who does a tremendous job of social media marketing, but also your organization as well. It's going to be important for you to take this opportunity to reach out to your donors. I think one of the misconceptions is that we're going to be a part of the Great Give. All we have to do is sign up. But there is some lead work on your end that you have to put in. And that social media platform is definitely a key component to you reaching out to your constituents here within Palm Beach County. And then you'll have a dedicated web page for your organization. And this is an opportunity for you, once you have your URL and you've been approved, that information you can send out to your donors. So actually on that day, they can go directly to your page and they can actually put in their donation from that particular platform. So raising significant unrestricted dollars, that's probably one of the most exciting things. You know, so often we run into the issue of programmatic support, knowing that, you know, it's always tougher to bring in those unrestricted dollars that you have complete discretion over. And this is an opportunity for your organizations to bring in those unrestricted dollars. Also, each opportunity to earn bonus dollars. As I mentioned, the Community Foundation is working on a bonus pool. We do have our colleagues from United Way who's working on the other side with the prize pool as well. So there's different opportunities to leverage resources, not only through your donors, but also through the bonus pool and also through the prizes that we have. This year we're shooting for a lofty goal, so we're hopeful that we'll make it so we can support more organizations this year on the bonus pool side. Receiving a database of donors. What's important is that once you go through this process this year, well, even last year as well, I'm going to say that all organization, any donor that provides support to your organization, you will receive a list of those particular donors, how much they've given to you, their address, all their contact information, so you can reach out to them personally. Now, they will receive a confirmation as well, but it's an opportunity for you to reach out to them personally to thank them for their support. So you are invited to participate this year. Like I said, we're looking for a fantastic time this year. The time this year is from 5 p.m. on May 5th to 5 p.m. on May 6th. A little different from last year. We went from midnight to midnight, but this opportunity, I think, will help you maximize your donors this year with the change in time frame. And with that, I'm going to turn control over to my colleague, Jennifer Sullivan.
Thank you. Well, I'm really looking forward to this year. I went through the first Great Give last year, and we have a lot that we've learned, a lot of great things that we were going to share with you today, and I think we're going to have just a bigger and better year this year. I wanted just to give you a little bit more background on what Give Local America is. So last year was the first National Day of Giving. Give Local America is a group that was created actually because of last year being the 100th anniversary of the first community foundation that was founded in Cleveland, Ohio. So they thought, why not have a united local/national day of giving to celebrate the 100th anniversary. So the goal was to get 100 community foundations together to host these giving days on the same day, on May 5th. And that's what we did. So the purpose of Give Local America, obviously, is unifying giving across America, inspiring everyone to be a philanthropist for a day. That's definitely something that we are promoting through our entire campaign, is anyone can be a philanthropist. The donation's as little as $10. So even my children were philanthropists last year, so it was really fun. And finding funding solutions for our local nonprofits by raising unrestricted dollars. Go back. So again, just another slide about Give Local America. One giving day, hundreds of communities united, thousands of nonprofit organizations participating. So how did we do last year nationally? Pretty significant. We were part of the largest online giving day in history. We raised $53 million across the country. This infographic shows you some of the breakdowns, which is interesting. Florida and the southeast coast is actually the second highest in donors and funds raised on that day. It's hard for me to read all the little data here, but I think you'll find some of these stats are interesting. And what's great about the platform that we use, and we can go into that a little bit more when Derek talks about the technology, but it's Kimbia. We're using them again. They really offer a great platform, and a lot of the statistics that they offer, we see it in real time. We know where donors are coming from. We know how many states are participating, and we're able to use that information, and you'll be able to use that information when you get your donor information to customize. And so now that's one of the reasons why I changed our timing this year. So it's not midnight to midnight, so we can be in more daytime hours of when the giving is higher. So some of these stats are really interesting. What's exciting about this year is, again, we're in our second year, so everybody's learning across the country on what to do and what works. And some new additions for this year. So we're partnering with Give Local America. We are going to be part of their National Day. We're all going to be hosting our giving days on May 5th, or starting our giving days on May 5th, as we will be. There is a new advisory committee, a national advisory committee that's advising the team at Give Local America on what's working in different areas and giving advice and suggestions. I'm actually one of the advisory members this year. There's about 12 of us across the country, so we meet monthly, and we also get to hear the first news on the sponsors and partnerships that they're working on. So I'm really excited. This team has a national PR firm, a national sponsorship firm. They're very close with USA Today and iHeartRadio to be the national partners. So we're going to have some national partnerships where it's going to benefit all of us locally, really mostly in promotion. And stories about giving and why you need to give on May 5th. So I'm excited about that. Also, one other thing that is important that you will benefit from is a nonprofit listserv. And basically, it's like a big Google group that I will be sending you the link to so that you can sign up for it. And it's basically a Google group, which is just a forum online so that you and all the nonprofits across the country will be connected. And you can ask questions, you can ask, does anybody have a sample of this or that and whatever, and just share resources. Last year we had a listserv for the hosts, the Giving Day hosts, which was really helpful. We posted questions about sponsorship packages or, does anybody have an idea on engaging nonprofits? And you get answers in, within seconds all around the country. So I'll be sharing that with you. And lastly, what's the goal for this year nationally? So you saw we raised $53 million last year. The goal is $100 million this year. So they want to double what we raised nationally. We're excited about that goal. We think we can help them get there. 1 million social media impressions, full media presence, which is really just engaging all the local and national media about Giving Day. So hope you'll be a part of that. So how did we do in 2014?
Thanks for asking. We practiced that. First, before I start on that, I'd just like to say, I know because we're filming, it's a little bit different, but if you have any questions, please just raise your hand. We're happy to answer them as we're going through. It's okay. We want to make sure that you're all engaged and getting as much information as possible. So do feel free to ask any questions. Are there any so far? Then I'll keep going. So how did we do in 2014? We did really well. Palm Beach County and Martin County, our combined effort raised $2.2 million in 24 hours. That's not too shabby. 7,440 donors, 330 local nonprofits. The bonus pool that was raised by the Community Foundation was $450,000. So everyone received bonus dollars, whether you raised $1,000 or you raised $50,000. You did see some extra dollars because of that. And as Daryl mentioned, their goal is even higher this year for the bonus pool. So we anticipate that we will have another really great year and will be hugely successful. And a couple of things to note also, as Jennifer mentioned, we did pay attention to what the top giving hours were and things like that. There was information that we could get on the back end of the site. So that did go into our decision making for the change in time. And I think that will benefit everyone. So we just wanted to highlight some of the successes from last year. And you'll see in the upcoming workshops that we're offering, the social media, for example, we will have some of the folks there presenting that did really well with their social media outreach. And then for the donor engagement workshop, we will have some of the nonprofits represented there that did particularly well. So for example, Boys and Girls Club raised more than $51,000, and we know they put a lot of effort in. So like Daryl mentioned, if you just sign up, you might get some donors, but if you really put some effort in, promote it, call your donors, do some outreach, do the email blasts, you will reap the benefits of it for sure. And we provide you with a good basis of the information, the communications plan, the emails, sample Facebook posts, so you can just tweak it and tailor it and make it yours. One other that I wanted to highlight was Urban Youth Impact. They had the most number of gifts. So even though maybe they didn't raise the most, they had a lot of donors engaged. They got a lot of new donors. As Daryl mentioned, you do get to keep that donor data, so that's very important as well. All right, so get ready for 2015.
We practiced that.
Yep.
Okay, so for those of you that are new to this process, you heard a lot about what happened in 2014. I really want to hone in and let you know what is Great Give Palm Beach Martin County. It's a 24-hour online giving event that allows your organization to secure as much unrestricted dollars to support your great work in the community. It is going to be May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 5 o'clock, to May 6th, 5 o'clock. As Lexi and Jennifer like to say, happy hour to happy hour. Okay? In order, and you'll be hearing a lot about the registration process in a minute, but if you have not done so already, I encourage you to visit the website greatgiveflorida.org. For those of you that participated last year, if you happen to type in Great Give PBC, you'll be redirected. But this is the website for 2015, greatgiveflorida.org. Any questions? Yes?
I just thought I'd share, Daryl, ignore my email, because once you register, you will get an email back that says, thanks for registering, which is great. The problem is, it's like highlighted in the background with blue. So if I try to forward it to anybody to explain it to, have them help me figure it out, you can't, because you can't write on it. Number two is, the reason I bothered Daryl is I missed when it said, please allow 3 to 5 business days. I would write, here's a, follow this link to see that, and it puts me to my link, but then I couldn't understand why wasn't I on the list.
Yeah.
So I missed that, so I would just make a suggestion that I would highlight in red, please wait 3 to 5, you won't be registered for 3 to 5 business days. I just thought
That's good to mention, and we will be getting into this in a little bit. Her question was really related to the communication that happens after you register. You get the edit link, United Way goes to and to approve it, and then you get an approval link. We'll talk all about that in a little bit. Yeah.
I went on and I was filling out everything. Then I realized I had to do a little research and find some stuff, so I clicked save.
Yeah.
I can't find it.
Yeah.
So I went back and I did that about 4 times.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's saved.
Well, again, that is a challenge with the website with respect to the Save Changes button, and we will certainly talk about that throughout this process. Absolutely, we'll address it because it has been a barrier. Great point. Yes?
Can you define, oh, I'm sorry, can you define unrestricted dollars?
Sure. Let's say, for example, you're funded by United Way or the Community Foundation or another funder for a particular program or service. Those dollars are very restricted, meaning you can only use the funding that we provide to you for that purpose, delineated in an application or a budget. This unrestricted means that you can use this to support the great work. So, for example, the Boys and Girls Club last year, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Trudy, but they did a phenomenal work. They noticed a big disparity in the children that are hungry in their organization. So they were able to use those funds to increase their delivery of meals from a certain number of days to a certain number of days per year. So it's unrestricted monies that you have decision-making authority about how you spend.
But in their campaign or part of their work, did they say that's what the dollars were going to go to, or they decided after that that's what the dollars were going to go to?
It is up to them to communicate to their donors when they're promoting their link. It is the belief of the United Way and the Community Foundation in sponsoring this event that you will honor the wishes of the donor when spending the money. But we found that very few donors restrict how they want their money used.
Oh, so it's, okay, I get it.
Yeah, great question. Okay, so let's get into information about how you register. So you're going to go to the website and you're going to register. And you need to register on or before March 30th at 5 p.m. Now, you're going to be hearing from Derek about the registration process. I strongly encourage you to register as soon as possible, because what will happen after you are registered is you will receive a link. That is not necessarily your link that you're going to get. In fact, it is not your link that you're going to get to promote. That's going to come after the approval process. So that link that you get, that this young woman just mentioned that should be highlighted in red, that is your edit link. So if something changes in your organization, or you want to reflect or turn a logo or change your mission statement a little bit, you misspelled something, you're able to go back in there and do it. But after March 30th at 5 o'clock, it locks. So you won't be able to make any changes. So I encourage you to get in and to register ASAP, okay?
Once it's done, can we see it as if you're an outside person? I guess what I'm saying is it looks like all there is that one short 1,000 character statement.
With-
I don't know what it's really gonna look like. We did complete it. What is it really gonna look like?
We are gonna show you an example, and we'll get to that excellent point. She was asking specifically about what will our page look like, and we will be able to view that so that we can make some edits if we need to prior to March 30th. Okay, so after your approval, you're gonna be able to go into the leader, you should get an email that tells you you've been approved, and it'll have your link. Now, what I've been telling everybody to do is, don't worry about that approval link necessarily. Go into the home page, the leaderboard tab, and your organization should be listed there in alphabetical order. Derek's going to go into this for a little bit, but if you click on that link, basically highlighting your organization, click on it, that's where your page pops up, and that's what you're going to use to promote on the day of. Now, folks are going to have to give to you 5 p.m. March 5th through 5 p.m. March 6th. No, yes. I'm still got noon to noon on the brain. So 5 to 5. Nothing before, nothing after with respect to the online giving. There is a match opportunity, but we'll talk about that later. The minimum gift is $10, and nonprofits will receive one check within 90 days of the Great Give. It'll include the amount that you've raised, less 6.6%, which is the credit card and processing fees, plus any bonus pool monies that you've earned based upon the available pool. Okay? Any questions on that? All right, I'm sorry? The available pool is the bonus pool that Daryl was speaking to earlier that the Community Foundation is raising. There's several different funders, there's several single donors who are giving of their money to raise the bonus pool so that it can be allocated across those agencies. The more you raise, the more of the percentage of the bonus pool money that you get. Yes, and we do, and I'll be going over that. Absolutely, yes.
Last year, there was a cap of 10,000 that was eligible for the bonus pool. Is that still the case this year?
Excellent question. The question was whether or not there was a single donor $10,000 maximum, and the answer is yes. The first $10,000 of any single donor will be used toward the match. If they want to give you $20,000, they can do that. Only the first 10, you'll take it, absolutely. Only the first 10,000 will be used when calculating the match. So you really, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here, but you really have to look at whether or not that delta of the other 10,000 could be used as a match opportunity offline. Okay, and if I'm getting too deep in the weeds, I don't intend to, but for those of you that have been here and can see the big picture, that's a great concept to consider. So you will get a check within 90 days that will include all of the information I just told you. It'll include a list of all of the donors that gave to you that day, provided that they wanted to share their name with you, that they didn't want to remain anonymous. If they want to remain anonymous, United Way doesn't know who they are either, okay? The most important thing for you guys to remember throughout this whole process is that you want to try to be very purposeful in how you're promoting your organization on that day. You know, if you decide you want to increase your meals from 2 days to 5 days a week, and you want to share that with folks and spread the word, then you're likely going to get more donors. Sometimes they love to give for a particular purpose, okay, so they would want to restrict their dollars, so you want to be very specific.
Quick point, in terms of the 90 days, please, because we tend to get a number of calls, you know, a week or two later, you know, when are we getting a check, you know, are we getting it next week? Please, the United Way, it's a major processing for them. There are a lot of steps they have to go through, so they do their best to get it to you before that 90-day window, which they did last year, but please, a minimum up to 90 days. So if you're looking at trying to include it in your fiscal year, if it ends, you know, June 30, I would caution you on that because it may not come before that time frame. So just make note of that. A minimum of 90 days. It could be sooner.
Yeah. A couple quick things. On the registration, again, I keep deferring to it, but we'll go over it with Derek. This year, we add an opportunity for you to include your bank routing number and your account number if you wanted to include that information so that it will be directly deposited into your account. That's much quicker than waiting for a check. When I say much, it's maybe a week or two, but it still makes it much more simple for your organization. And I also found out, because getting to your point, Daryl, thank you so much, so many people last year were calling around June 15th feeling like they're running out of time, that their fiscal year is ending. What happens is, though, you need to check with your accountant, but what I've been told is that you can actually encumber that expense. So you're going to be able to capture that into your expenses through June 30th, if that's what the intent is, to pay yourself through June 30th.
There's also another reason with that date, why there is a 90 days. You know, typically when a donor gives on a credit card, it takes about a week or so before they actually even see those charges. And if something is incorrect or there's a change, we have to make sure that we give them enough time to actually make that update or process a refund. If not, if that check was already sent out, well, then we're gonna have to contact you all to get money back if the donor accidentally, instead of $25, they decided to do $2,500. So we have to make sure that we buffer in enough time for processing just to make sure the donor intent is correct.
That was a hard lesson learned for us last year. Okay, so who is eligible to participate? Any 501c nonprofit organization is eligible to participate. You have to be in good standing with the IRS, because we vet your EIN number, your employee identification number. You have to be providing services either in Palm Beach or Martin County, or both, okay? And you need to be, and this is again in the rules page of the tab, you need to be licensed through Florida Department of Agriculture to solicit funds through the Contributions to Solicit Funds Act that was enacted back in July of 2014. That is available, information about that is available to you on United Way's website. We don't go in necessarily and check, I'll be very honest with you, but you are attesting to that when you're signing your nonprofit agreement, that you are licensed to solicit funds in Palm Beach County or the state of Florida. Okay, where am I? Okay, so there are 3 great ways to amplify the amount of money that you receive through the Great Give. Of course, there's the amount of money that you raise through your hard work and effort. There's the bonus pool monies that you've heard about that will be available to you on a pro rata share based upon the available pool. There are prizes, which is a great thing. United Way is working on those. They were very, very competitive last year, and we expect that to be the case again. And then there were individual match challenges. I alluded to that a little bit earlier, where if someone may want to give an offline gift, you have a board member that says, hey, for the first $10,000 you raise through Great Give, I'll match you another $10,000, or I'll match you 2 to 1. Last year, we had an organization that they had a donor that gave them an offline gift of $250,000. So there wasn't even a threshold that they had to meet in order to capture those dollars. That offline didn't count, of course, any part of it because it was offline toward the bonus pool for them to collect, but nonetheless, it's a great way to raise awareness about that organization. Now, you. And here's about our sponsors.
Sponsor break.
Practice that too.
I think one of the things that I'm learning is this is a very intensive process for a relatively short period of time at the time it happens. So everything you do leading up to this is only going to make your whole experience better. So I'm new to this, so any of you that haven't done it before, I'm with you. There's a lot to learn, and please know that we really do want to hear from you if you have questions. As Keisha said, we are, the Community Foundation was in charge of creating the sponsorships for the bonus pool. And last year we raised $458,000, and this year we're trying to go for 500 or better. Mm-hmm. And right now we've got several sponsors who are already signed up, and several of them were sponsors last year, so I think that attests to the fact that they really did appreciate what the Great Give was about and what it did for you all. And we are over halfway there. So that right there should tell you that if some of the donors feel it's this important to make commitments this early, it's really worth your while. And we will continue to do that fundraising, and if we get over 500,000, we'll be very, very excited.
All right. So How does the bonus pool work? Let's talk about this. And again, we're going to keep this very simple because we're simple math people. But let's say that $1 million is raised through Great Give Online, and your particular organization raises 20,000 of that, okay? So that's 2% of the total that's raised on that day. And then there's $500,000 that's raised through the bonus pool. So you're going to get 2% of that bonus pool money, okay? Again, it's a pro rata share of the available bonus pool money. So at the end of the day, what will happen is you will get your amount that you earned through Great Give, we'll take off the 6.6%, but then we're going to add in the bonus pool money that you earned before the 6.6% was ever taken out. So your new total would be the $28,680. Sure. Okay. So let's say we raise $1 million through the Great Give event, okay? And your organization, excuse me? 1 million locally, absolutely. Let's just deal with local dollars. So we raise $1 million. Your organization raises 20,000. And I have to tell you, when we gave this example last year, we thought it might be a little lofty, but you can see all those organizations that exceeded that. So they were very successful. So getting back, so $20,000, if you raised $1 million, represents 2% of that total, okay? So when I said that you're going to get a pro rata share of the bonus pool based upon the total versus what you raised, if the amount of the bonus pool is $500,000, you're going to get 2% of the $500,000 added to what you raised, okay? So we're going to take the amount, the $20,000, less the 6.6%, which is the fees that it costs us, and then add in the bonus pool money based upon a pro rata share of the original amount. Okay?
Earlier, or just before that, you said that you're gonna add the money in and then take the 6.6 out.
No.
You don't take the 6.6.
The 6.6% is taken out of the total, but when we're figuring out the bonus pool money, it's based on the total that you raised. The total that you raised. So, using this example, if you raise $20,000, okay, you are going to get $18,680 before you add in the bonus pool monies, because the $18,680 takes off the 6.6% from that $20,000. Okay? When we're looking at how much you earned of the bonus pool, it's the 2% of that $500,000. And we're going to add that in after we've deducted the 6.6%. So you're getting the full gross effect of that bonus pool money. Okay? I'll be answering questions till March 30th, I'm sure, May 5th. But you're welcome to call me. June 30th? June 30th. Oh, yes, yes. Well, then I can pass it off to somebody in our finance department. No, just teasing. Okay. Any other questions before we move on? And again, I'm sincere when I say we want you to understand this. We want you to understand the importance of your contribution in promoting your organization and the fact that the more you raise, the more you get through the bonus pool and can participate in that. So I don't want you to forget about the prizes and how important that is and how competitive it was last year. United Way of Palm Beach County is looking at raising many, many prizes. This is an example, very much of an example, of what you might see during that 24-hour period of 5 p.m. May 5th to 5 p.m. May 6th. Oh, did you have a question?
Yeah. Sorry to go back into the previous slide. Let's say you didn't raise anything at all. Were you still eligible for that 2% or?
No. If you didn't raise anything at all,
You get 2%.
0% of the bonus pool is 0%. Right. So you're rewarded with how much money you raise. Great question, because it's not the only one that we've been asked about that. So, yeah. Okay. Yes.
In the very first few slides, you said that the Urban Youth Impact raised the most amount of gifts. What are gifts as opposed to like in-kind donations?
No. Any single gift of $10 or more counts as one gift. So they didn't raise the most money, but they had the most people give that day.
So there is something for the number of gifts you have. Even if all of your people only gave $10, you're going to get something.
Oh, absolutely,
So
yeah.
there's another way.
Yes. Well, there's another way to be recognized as an organization that gets the most gifts, yes. Some of these prizes get into how many gifts are you getting per hour, or there's going to be some very creative ways that they allocate this money. But we've been taunting Urban Youth Impact for quite some time because it was their reach that raised them to the level that they did, not necessarily each monetary gift that they received. Great, great question. Okay, so Derek is going to talk specifically about the registration.
Thank you, Keisha.
You're welcome.
Right, so I see this registration could potentially be a hot topic. So we're gonna do our best to get through it and answer any questions. And answer any questions. I wish the mic was for the room, however, it's for the recording, so you're gonna have to forgive me if I'm not loud enough and remind me if I'm not. So, all right, so let's get started with this registration. If you go to greatgiftflorida.org, the homepage right now, you can click directly on the registration. That link that's highlighted in red, that arrow is great. What's important about that is that the process has changed from last year. I don't know if you remember, when you clicked on the registration, you had a number of options to register. One was that you actually had to claim your nonprofit, and then the other one is where you actually had to fill out an empty registration page. However, we learned that it's better just to fill out a new page. Just in terms of the back end and the processing and the approval process, it made complete sense just to go ahead and do a brand new registration. So if you click on that link, it's going to take you into our registration page. Let me see if I can look at these slides here. So, contact name. What's important about the contact? This is your Great Gift profile contact. So you don't want to put in your CEO's information. You want to put in the person's contact information that's going to be managing Great Give on the website. So this is the contact that we're going to send email. That's the only contact that we're concerned about in terms of this registration piece. Your email and phone number, that's definitely important. Your email is who's going to receive the link once you hit submit, but then the actual contact phone, all of that information is definitely something else you're going to need for your organization. It's actually going to show up on your main profile page, so it's important that you put in the correct info. So the organization name here, what's important about that is that that's really your display name. When you go to the leaderboard, once your organization is approved, whatever name that you have in there for the organization name, that's what's going to pop up. So if you're doing business as another name, you want to make sure that A, we have that information in the DBA. When we go to do the approval process, we're going to need to know what your IRS legal name is. However, when you go to get on the leaderboard, you're going to want to put there whatever your donors are going to recognize as your organization's name.
So organization name doesn't have to be the legal name, it can be the DBA name if that's what we want in the.
It can. In terms of the back-end process, when we hit the approval button, whatever you put in that organization name, that's what's going on the leaderboard. That's what everyone's going to recognize your organization with. However, for the registration process, we need to know what your IRS legal name is when we go to verify your documentation.
And that goes someplace else.
And you can put it in the DBA.
You can put, so you can reverse it.
You can. And the reason why I bring that up, I know it's a little confusing. However, what happens is if you fill it out strictly based on your legal name, and then when you go to look at the leaderboard with the rest of the organizations, you're going to say, no one recognizes my organization with this name, but however, they do recognize us as that. So I would put what you want to be recognized on Great Give as your organization name. Your EIN, definitely important. It says no dashes, is exactly correct. Do not put the dashes in. It will actually take up an extra space, and when you go to submit or save your registration, it's not going to go through because it's not going to think it's correct, nor will we have the right information. So it's a good reason why that has that there. The one thing I want to point out, the asterisks that are in red, definitely required fields. So you have to fill out that information or it's not going to submit properly. There's a question in the back?
Yeah, for the organization name, if we've already done this and we did it with the IRS name first and the DBA name, or can we get that switched or is it too late?
So your question, can you make changes after you already hit
Yeah, so
submit?
I already did that. I did our legal name and then our doing this,
Sure.
but I'm not gonna recognize it.
Well, when you saved your profile, it really is a submit when you hit save. When they send you that link, your edit link, but when you register, it sends you back a link. That is your edit link. You can use that link to March 30th
So I go
at
back
5
and
p.m.
edit it.
5 p.m.
You can go in and make any edits that you want, whether it's the logo, whether it's the name, you want to update your mission statement, you want to update your Facebook and Twitter. You can do all of that. That's until March.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. You have another question over to the right?
Yeah, was I correct in hearing that it takes 3 to 4 or so business days before the link is provided?
No, the registration link is immediate when you hit save. The approval process, which happens where the verification,
Right.
that is 3 to 5 days.
Okay, so if we received our approval, but there was nothing else attached to it, just says you have been approved.
You've been approved. That's
then
correct.
what?
Well, I'm going to get to a little further in the presentation where you can get to your live URL that you're actually going to promote, and
Is that
the
coming
best one.
later?
It is.
Do we get advised of that actual URL later?
Well, I'm going to show you exactly how to get to it here, whether you receive it or not, because I don't want you to be, hey, I'm waiting on this link, I never got the link, or got stuck in spam. I want to make sure that you know exactly where to get your promotion URL when you are approved, because you should show up in the leaderboard tab.
Is there any way that you can choose more than one category on there, like the education environment? It's just one.
So your question about changing the categories, we only have one that's available, but, well, being able to choose more than one category. We only have one that's available, at least with the registration process. I have a question in the back.
Hi, Dennis. My question is, our organization, the one that's applying for, as the accepting, organization, is a 501c3. However, the parent, organization is not a 501c3. But that is the organization that our donors would recognize. So, I guess my question is, on the application, can we have a section where only the donors will see the name of the organization that they would recognize? Can I put both names?
So I want to make sure that I have a chance to rephrase your question, that we have it on the recording. So what I gathered was that you want to make sure that you can update the display name that your donors are going to be able to see when they go to give on Give Day, correct? And yes, you can do that. And that org name is the reference point for that, the first option there. I don't know how well you can see it with this slide, but the org name is right after your contact information. That is where you're going to want to put your organization's display, how you're going to be recognized, where they're going to see you on the leaderboard, or when you send out your promotion URL. That is what they're going to see when they click on it, when they hit that landing page for your organization. That's the name. The DBA, that's where you want to make sure that you put your correct information so you get approved, so we know the correct organization to reference you with.
Yeah.
Okay.
We probably need to talk offline. The individual just asked the question about the parent company not being a 501c3. So I really want to make sure that we vet that appropriately. So I'm going to need to ask some questions. So if you would see me after, or you can give me a call, I'll give you my card. We can talk later.
Question?
What about organizations that share the same EIN?
Share. I'll defer to Keisha to organizations that share the same EIN.
Well, there are statewide organizations that share an EIN. There's one in Palm Beach, there's one in Martin County. We can only register one organization to an EIN. Last year we were able to bypass it, but we weren't supposed to be able to bypass it. So that loophole has been, and the reason we were able to bypass it is because we were reflecting two nonprofits that were located in, one in Palm Beach, one in Treasure Coast. They weren't commingled, so we could allocate the bonus pool monies and everything. You can use one organization per EIN. So, for example, if the organization in Martin County registers first, and then Palm Beach County goes in to register with the same EIN, it'll tell them you cannot do that. There's already an organization listed under this name, in which case you can call me and we can talk about it. I've advised people, listen, you call that other organization and you talk to them about this and see if there's a way to split the donations, because you can figure out who's donating where. It's a little bit onerous for us, but we're willing to do that for equity purposes.
Okay, so the address and the city and the country, all of that information is actually what's going to go on your profile page. So you want to make sure that's correct with your organization. I'm going to go over to the logo. If you look at the logo side, so hopefully everyone understands what a logo, in terms of all of your printed media and website and things like that. You do want a logo there. However, you do not want a large logo. You really want to make it a respectable size. I recommend anything under a megabyte. And besides, your logo isn't going to cover the whole page. It's only a small area. So you would want to really look at the size of your logo. And the reason why I even bring that up, the larger the logo, the longer it actually takes the page to load. So that I just recommend that you go with a size that's smaller than a megabyte, so you can put it in there immediately. The description, we've been using that for the mission. The description, that's if we're going to go over to the main profile page, but that's going to be right up under your contact information, and where you can have your mission statement that you want to share with your donors that log onto the site. So over on the right-hand side, when they first log in, they're going to see your logo and they're going to see some text. That description area, that's the text that they're going to see. And if you just so happen to put that information in there and you want to change it, use the edit URL. You can go in there and make as many changes as you like. There isn't a limit there. Website URL, that should be straightforward. You just want to make sure you put in your www.yourwebsite.com. Facebook URL, same thing. You definitely want to use the URL that you know people can click on and get to. I wouldn't use like facebook.com by itself. And we've had that happen. You want to make sure you put in your custom Facebook URL. And Twitter's the same thing. The other question down there is, does your nonprofit organization have its own matching funds available for Give Day? That's what Keisha alluded to. If you had that donor that said, hey, look, I have $50,000 that I want to match gifts with. We have the capacity that on the site we can actually put a button there to let your donors know that you actually have matching funds available aside from the bonus pool that's available through Give Day. So just another way to amplify your giving. And the other question about the endowment managed by your local community foundation, if you do, check the box. These are not required fields, so they're not mandatory. You do want to figure them out before March 30th, though, because you're not going to be able to go in and change it after that date. So the categories area, you have the option to pick one. So make sure it's the one that you would prefer. The city, the zip, and phone, those are all profile information. So you want to put your organization there, which you want people to see when they click on your page. So we have a few custom questions too that are there. So your nonprofit participation agreement, that's where you want to upload that document. It's pretty important that you make sure in your single document that we have both pages. There's a copy of that here. We want both of those pages in that file. The second thing you want to make sure of is that those two pages, that file is not huge. It needs to be under a megabyte, which isn't difficult. If you scan it and make it a PDF, the odds are pretty good. that is going to be under a megabyte. But if if the file size is big, it is not going to accept it, and it will, when you go to submit, it will give you errors. So you just want to make sure that you make that file size, respectable, under a megabyte. If you have any questions about that, you're definitely welcome to, our contact information is going to be a part of the PowerPoint. I'm sure we're going to share it throughout some other documentation. So, the other question, what county do you primarily serve? We definitely want to know, and this is for the bonus pool consideration. It's important that you share with us your primary, because we need to know the proper calculation for the bonus pool piece. You want to elaborate on any of that?
Yes, thank you. So several registrations have come in. If you've looked at the leaderboard, we've approved, close to 80, 90 organizations already, and I'm doing quite a bit of follow-up. So we customize these questions, thank you, Jennifer and Lexi, based upon some challenges we had last year of folks who said, but I serve both Palm Beach and Martin counties. I'm in both of these communities. I want to be represented on the leaderboard for both. So we have to find out where you primarily serve, and you have to choose one if you're in both counties, and that is for bonus pool dollars. But the second question about, this is where I serve, Palm Beach, Martin counties, and Palm Beach and Martin County. Please only check Palm Beach and Martin if you are physically providing services in Palm Beach and Martin. Otherwise, if you're an organization that's in the south part of Palm Beach County and you're saying you serve Martin County, it's going to be a little bit of a red flag for me, and I'm going to need to call you. And I called an organization, they said, well, we take people from Martin County. Well, if you take people from Martin County, you're not bringing your service to Martin County. So in order to be fair, because the leaderboard is going to show all those organizations that are providing services physically in Martin and physically in Palm Beach, we need to make sure that the leaderboard reflects that. So in hearing this, if some of you did check Palm Beach and Martin and you just serve Palm Beach or Martin, you can go back in your edit link and adjust that. Or you can call me or send me an email and I'll adjust it for you. But we need to make sure that it's most accurate, and it might be a little bit confusing because I know a lot of people straddle both counties in their service delivery, but not necessarily physically in those counties. So thank you.
Thank you, Keisha. You explained it way better than So the other option that we have down there is for the select an image. Now, we have it's actually a new feature to the profile, the way it was set up last year, where we give you an additional area to add a picture. The real estate on it isn't huge, so I wouldn't recommend getting a large photo. However, on your profile, instead of just your logo, you can actually have an image of your staff or whatever your current mission is. If you have pictures of your staff, or just it's another place where you can add an image to enhance your gift page. So it's a new feature. It's not a mandatory field. You do not have to use it. However, it does enhance your page. And we're going to show you an example of that a little further. And remember, you don't want the picture huge. You want to keep it under a megabyte. Any questions?
What format?
There's actually a number of formats are accepted. To make it easy, I would just recommend a JPEG. So another required question is your organization's annual operating budget. You want to make sure that you have that available. I do not recommend putting in dashes or anything like that, or commas. I would keep it simple. Just put the total amount in there and move on to the next question. Now, the other questions, these are actually pretty new. They're not required. However, they make the disbursement of dollars a lot easier if we can capture this information up front. So your bank account information, your EFT, your electronic funds, that's all information we want to capture your account, and then also the routing number, similar to if you were doing an ACH for a check. But this speeds up the process for us tremendously to have this information. And if you're if you're insecure about sending that type of information on the form, there's other options that you can use with your bank that can provide you with like a vanity number to where it isn't exactly your account number, but you can use it for the purposes of this. And I believe it's this, Sophie? What's that?
I don't know. Trudy, do you know?
It has a special name.
Do you know what it's like a pseudo, it's a pseudo number, really, a vanity number.
Yeah.
That is very confidential, so it avoids somebody stealing your routing and bank account information. So if you need that information, let us know. If you are already an organization funded by United Way currently, you don't need to fill that information out. If you want it to be deposited to the same bank where we already put your information, you don't need to include that. Many of the nonprofits have not included that information. Yes?
Question. If this is our first year in operation, what do we put in the annual operation?
You put in whatever your amount of money needed to run your operations is on an annualized basis.
We are at the first month of the entire process.
But do you have a budget?
Yeah.
Okay, then whatever that dollar amount is for your budget annualized, that's what you would include in there. You can call if you have questions, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Keisha. So the save changes is the same as submit. So when you click Save Changes, that's when it's going to get sent to us and it gets available for approval. You definitely want to remember that the Save Changes isn't something that you save it and come back to it without submitting it. When you hit Save Changes, it gets submitted to United Way. So what I would recommend is that you get all of your information, you go look at the registration page, take a look at it, make sure you have all of your documentation, fill it out completely, then submit, then save. That definitely would be my recommendation on that piece. There's a question?
Did you just say hitting the Save Changes button submits it?
The first time.
It does, the first time. Now, you can go back and edit when you hit that Save Changes, the same as submit. Now, when you get your registration, you're successfully registered, you're gonna get an edit button that's gonna allow you to go back in. However, just note that every time you hit save, it's sending a note to us saying, hey, we have a new profile, you wanna look at it and approve it. So I have another question in the back.
Jennifer has.
I was just gonna say, just FYI, that's a platform issue, it's not
Yeah.
our issue. We
Yes.
have recommended that it's a submit button rather than save as, but it's a universal platform, we can change it.
Retread.
Is there any other way to submit the bank account? Last year, I think you sent a form.
Yeah.
And we were able to
Yeah,
go through our processes, but online it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
yeah.
Yeah, that isn't definitely not the only way to do it. On registering online during the profile page to submit your EFT or your bank account information is not the only way to get it to us. However, we put it in the form to hopefully make it easier to submit that information. So looking forward, if you do actually need a form to submit it to us, that's also an option. More than likely, we would need to make that form available online for you to get to it. So we're gonna have to look at the best way to share that information without making it available to whoever. So,
I need a hard copy to give to the finance department, so.
yeah, I don't see why. We will make that information, the form itself, we can make that available online. I don't think that would be an issue. However, you still have the option to email us. If you have any further questions or anything that we don't explain here at the training, definitely send an email, and of course, we will get back to you with the proper format to send us or, receive information.
You can email me. I'll just go to our
Absolutely.
finance department and we'll try to make the form available that we used last year with some changes. We really are trying to save the time of our finance department by collecting this information up front and understanding that there are some barriers. So getting back to what Derek said, we certainly want to be high on the customer service ranks, so we will definitely work with you on that. Mhm.
So once you actually do save or submit, you will receive a thanks for registering email. There's a couple things you want to note here. If you you're able to see it on the screen, it actually tells you which email account it comes from. Now, I actually learned this myself. When I hit register, I looked at my inbox, did not get anything. And I was really concerned about this because I thought that was a big deal. Come to find out, it was in my spam. Both of the emails, the approval and the registering, went to my spam. And I'll tell you why. If you look closely at that email, it actually comes from their email system that's built into Kimbia. However, that account actually says that cfpbmc.org@mailgun.org on behalf of Great Give Palm Beach County, that Great Give cfpbmc.org. So, however, that means you want to whitelist that this address, anything that says mailgun@, well, mailgun.org, you want to, if it's possible, if you know how to, you can whitelist it, or just look in your spam. It'll make life way easier when you submitted that form.
So, again, maybe you guys send out a little email to all of us that are working with me, just saying FYI, because, yeah, it was in my spam. The person who submitted it for me, I kept on saying, where is it? And she goes, check your spam. I do check it regularly, but I just hadn't, and there it was, so not a problem.
Of course.
But we're lucky to be here and hearing you, but not everybody heard you.
Well, we're going to make this recording available after, too, for that. But then, too, we're definitely will encourage everyone to look at their spam at our later communications that go out. So the main thing you want to notice in your registering when you get this email, that you actually have an edit link that's a part of it. That if you look at the bottom, it says to access or make edits to your organization profile, please follow this link. This is your edit link. So remember, if you click on this link, you will be able to edit your profile for your organization. I do not recommend you send this to donors as your profile link for them to give to you, because it's not going to happen. It would be very difficult on the day of giving. But it also makes this URL important, because if you send it out to someone, they also have the ability to change things on your page. So this is a very important link that you do not want to forward to anyone. You just want to make sure you keep it available for the person who registered your site, and they're the only ones that need it unless you need someone else to make a change. But I recommend that you use this link to make any updates before March 30th.
So if you've already registered and you've already been approved, or even if you've registered and haven't been approved, please go in and edit your link, or at least look at your link one last time. I see lots of misspellings and mission statements. I see mission statements that are truncated because there wasn't enough time. I wish I had time to contact each of you to let you know that there are errors, because again, this is your display page. I will work to see if I can correct little things, but I may not be able to. So I strongly encourage you to please go in and look at your edit link and make sure that it is displayed the way you want to market your organization. Correct spelling, correct grammar, the whole gamut.
What is your criteria for approval?
That's a great question. So what I'm able to do is export information out of those organizations that have completed a registration. I weed out some of the columns that aren't essential to the approval process, but that we may need later. I run it through our finance department, who checks the EIN against the IRS database and GuideStar to make sure you're IRS compliant. If you're an organization that I know is providing services in Palm Beach or Martin County, you're approved. If there's questions about the services that you're providing in Palm Beach and or Martin County, I usually make a phone call and ask and inquire. The other big thing is, I just wanted to mention that nonprofit participation agreement. Please, please upload the 2 pages, the first page and the second page. A lot of organizations are just sending me the second page, the signature page, which is the most important, but it is a contract. It is an agreement, so I do need both pages submitted. And you can go in and if you didn't do that and you want to email it to me, you can email it to me as a PDF, and I can delete the old and replace the new. I'd be happy to talk to you about that, but we've got to have the 2-page document.
We have a question in the back.
Yeah, about the 2-page document, when I filled it out and scanned it and I was uploading it,
most certainly can call me. Yeah, I probably have a pad of paper that I'm writing on, little quick notes. I didn't want to hold up the approval process for something like that, but I know I have to circle back with you. Those that didn't complete a nonprofit participation agreement altogether, or are missing an EIN or anything else that's actually required, you're in an incomplete holder right now. I've either tried to call you or I've sent you an email, and those changes need to be corrected before I can approve you. Anybody that just submitted the one page, the signature page, I still approved, but I have to circle back around to you. So if you know you didn't do it, please email to me. If it didn't show up, then I only got the second page. Yeah. Great point. Thank you.
Okay, so what's most important with this piece here, once the team have the ability to approve it, you're gonna get an email that says you've been approved. This is probably the best part of the registration process, is getting approved. Remember to check your spam. Very, very, very important. So let's summarize. I don't think that's my slide.
Oh, let's summarize. Okay, I had your name beside it, but I'll take it.
really?
That's okay. Okay, so you're going to register your not-for-profit. We talked about that ad nauseum. You're going to receive a confirmation email that you registered. I didn't mean to be facetious, it just, Lexi's over there giving me the eye, so. Then you're going to receive an approval process after we've vetted you. You're going to visit Great Give Florida, and you're going to go to the Leadership tab on our website, and you'll be able to find your organization, as I mentioned earlier. You'll click on it. That's your promotion URL. That is your promotion URL. Last year, we had a little bit of a hiccup. That's been fixed this year, so you can start promoting away. So, Adopt a Family. Anybody here from Adopt a Family? Woo-hoo! I got permission from Matt to use this, so I wanted to make sure I gave you a shout out. Okay, so Adopt a Family is listed on the leaderboard. So when you click on that organization, this is going to be their promotion page. This is what your donors, and again, 60 to 70% of the people who will give to you on Give Day are giving to you because you promoted that link. So they won't even go to the homepage, greatgiveflorida.org, to find your organization. They're going to go right to you. So this is the advertisement and the promotion for your organization. You don't want misspellings, you don't want improper grammar, you want to make it as clean and crisp as you possibly can.
I would never give you an eye.
And this is what the leaderboard tab looks like. You can see, well, you really can't because I can't even see. But as you go to the website under the leaderboard tab, you'll be able to find your organization. If you've already been approved, you can go here and find that information. That's your promotion link. If you want to edit it, you need to use your edit link. Daryl's going to talk to you a little bit about the donor display.
Hi, everyone. I'm Daryl. You guys remember me? just seeing. So quickly, each organization will receive an Excel sheet, or I would say a hyperlink that turns into an Excel form with all your donor information on there. Now, for the question that I think Will asked earlier, if you don't raise any money, you're probably not going to get one of these. So just an FYI. But this will have all the important information that you need, their email, their name, all the contact information, what they've given to your organization, as I mentioned earlier, so you can reach back out to them and just say thank you for their support. So on your on your actual home page, if you see the donation form there, and I'm going to go back 2 slides here, where it has that little circle, the sample page, that's where that donor form will be located. So once they come to your home page on that day, that little section there will turn into that form there. And that's where the donor will input the information in terms of who they are and how much they're going to be giving to your organization. Once they submit their form, they will receive a confirmation right there on the page. So they can take a screenshot of it if they want to, but that confirmation form will pop up immediately after they click their submission. Following that, each donor will receive an email confirmation, Now, if they don't, because aren't they required to put the email in, if I'm not mistaken? Yes.
Yes.
So they are required to put an email in, so they can receive this email receipt here, but they'll also receive sort of that nice little detailed letter there, thanking them for participating in the Great Give as well. So this will be confirmation for them once they submit their information. So they have the confirmation immediately on their desktop screen, or if they're using a mobile phone, whatever case, what type of technology they're using, they'll receive it immediately, and then they'll receive an email receipt along with this letter as well. All right. Bye, everybody.
If I can just say one thing before we pass to Lexi and to Jennifer to talk about the marketing and messaging. Last year, when we talked about a little bit of the snafu, a lot of donors were calling their agency that they wanted to donate to, the adoptive families or whatever, saying, my credit card's showing that I donated to United Way of Palm Beach County. I didn't donate to United Way. I donated to Adopt a Family or to the Literacy Coalition. Well, that's absolutely true, but you may want to keep in the back of your mind and may want to communicate with these donors. United Way is the fiscal agent. So the money flows through us, and then we allocate those dollars based upon what I described to you earlier. So I just want to make sure that we're preventing any type of snafus down the line from lessons learned last year.
Thank you.
The receipt that they get shows United Way, doesn't show the charity.
That's correct.
Does it show back on that line that just before there?
Those are samples of what we used last year. We're going to strengthen the messaging this year to make it very clear about the payment is going to United Way and it'll be given to your organization, to this organization. But I just want to make sure that you knew this in the back of your mind in case any donors contacted you, to be able to communicate that. That's very important.
So is your URL then, I'm sorry, your EIN number on that receipt for tax purposes?
No.
No. It does, we very clearly communicate a couple times throughout the donation process that you will see United Way on your receipt as processor, but you're making your donation to whatever organization it is, and it will say that in the letter, the confirmation letter that they receive as well. But again, some people might just quickly scan the email that they get and disregard it, and then all of a sudden when they get their credit card bill, they're gonna say, oh, wait a minute, why is that United Way? So just so you know, we do tell them a few times during the process, but you just might need to remind them if they call you
Exactly.
confused.
Do they not need the EIN for tax purposes? I mean, if they were to.
That's provided in their receipt. They do get the EIN. That's an example. That's an example of what was used before. They will get something that clearly stipulates, for tax purposes, when they're filing their taxes, the EIN has to be listed, so it will be.
Right, your EIN.
Yeah, the organization.
Right.
So now this is the fun stuff. So we'll take you
No
guys through it really quickly. Another important part of the GreatGiveFlorida.org website is the resources tab. I hope that you've been there. Obviously you have, because the first piece on there is the nonprofit registration form. But there are also a lot of other great tools for you there. There are sample messaging, a sample communications plan. We went in there this year and updated it, made it really detailed, again, with lessons that we learned last year. So it's almost like a roadmap for you. We have from as soon as you got approved to 3 months out, 2 months out, 1 month out, the next week, and really depending on what your staff and what your capacity is, you can really follow that and be successful. We also have an overview. It's just a one-pager about what is the Great Give. So if you have donors or you have sponsors that you're trying to help with promote your event, you can just send that right out to them. And we also have a lot of graphic materials on there this year too. Different logos, different web banners, different things for you to use. Just an easy click and it downloads right there for you.
Yep, and last year, a lot of organizations did really creative and clever marketing, PR materials. They incorporated the logo really nicely into their current materials. So again, we will be sharing that at the upcoming workshops, but we do encourage you to be creative. One request that we did get was, we do send out the press releases, Jennifer and I, and our counterpart at the Martin County. So please don't blanket out the press release and continue sending it out, because I know we did have some local media that got a little bit inundated with the same press release. If you have questions or certain media that you like to work with and that you want to engage, if you want, just give Jennifer or I a heads up, or let us know. That way we're just not overdoing it. We don't want to burn anyone out on the Great Give too early.
I would say we're going to be promoting the day for you. If you would like to promote something to media, I would promote what you're doing. If you're doing something special, an event or promotion, please promote that, and we'll promote the day. So.
Exactly. And so talking about promotions and the marketing support, anyone that participated last year will remember we did have some really great media partners and really good advertising for the day, and that will be true again this year, and we're going even bigger. We have secured CBS 12 is going to be our exclusive television partner. Palm Beach Broadcasting is going to be our exclusive radio partner. They're donating upwards of $100,000 of in-kind media, so it will be everywhere. We have several webpage takeovers that will be happening right around the day, including Palm Beach Post, CBS 12,
Palm Beach Daily News, and TC Palm, those scripts.
So we'll be everywhere. We have an ad plan. You should have already seen some ads running for the Save the Date, for the nonprofit registration, and you'll continue to see those.
I thought it'd be fun just to give you, because we do have a really great story this year, because we did it already this last year. I just wanted to give you a quick snapshot of what we did last year in case you missed it. First thing, we got really great sponsors. So we already talked about some of the ones we got this year already. This is just a quick snapshot of who we got last year. So we are on a roll. We advertised, which Lexi already alluded to. We're going to do it again. Last year we spent about $11,000 between United Way and the Community Foundation, but we earned, we negotiated, and through sponsorships we had over $120,000 worth of advertising and promotion. And I'm just giving you a little snapshot of, that was the Palm Beach Post takeover. We're going to do that again. But where we were, hopefully we were everywhere. Hopefully you heard about it last year.
I know we had people comment that their Facebook pages were just hijacked for about 24 hours with the Great Give, and that's good. That's what we want. We plan on doing that again. Some of the creative things that we did last year, you'll see in the photos, we did bus wraps with sponsors featured in it, which they really loved. The sponsors really appreciated that opportunity to be all over town, and people were tweeting and Facebooking pictures of them when they would spot them throughout Palm Beach County, so we'll be doing those again as well. And then Panera, there is an example. Panera did a give back where you would get a $5 gift card at the one in City Place if you showed just on your phone that you gave to any organization during the Great Give. We will have cross promotions going on like that again. We're working with a few local restaurants. As soon as those deals are finalized, we'll include that in the email blast that Jennifer sends out to everyone with updates.
We publicized it. We already talked a little bit about this. We publicized the day. I think we did 4 or 5 different releases throughout, from when we announced it up until the Great Give, and we just received a ton of press on that day. We got social.
We got really social. Jennifer was the meme queen. But our engagement on social media, I don't think that's on that slide, but leading up to it and day of, I think we had more than 8 million social media impressions, just building up to that. And then we had really great social media engagement the day of, as you see, even at both midnights when we were starting to lose it a little bit. And it was
But we focused primarily on Facebook and Twitter, and I put some Twitter examples up there as well. So we had a lot of fun with it, and you can do this in advance as well. And we're going to go through this in depth at our social media training workshop in March, which we'll talk about in a second. So if you're feeling creative and want to attend that, what'll be at the Palm Beach Post, we're going to have some great examples and kind of give you some tips on how to do this. It's all free, so it's fun. It's a lot of fun. We engage in nonprofits, Lexi already mentioned. You guys got really creative. It was so fun to see some of the things that you were doing. And of course, we shared it on the United Way and Community Foundation platforms, and just, it really, I think, helped keep the excitement up throughout the day.
Yep, and leading up to it as well, tag us, both of our respective organizations. If you're in Martin County, also be sure to tag United Way of Martin County. They are on Facebook, not Twitter. But tag us in any of your posts leading up to it. We will share them, we will like them, we will retweet you, and help get the word out no matter what organization you're with.
We were even doing it just a few minutes ago.
Yep, we were.
So Lexi already mentioned some of our sponsors. We're ahead of schedule again this year on our sponsorship, so really excited about that. So you will see advertising and promotion starting up very soon. And I mentioned the 2 workshops that we have. We've expanded our trainings this year and really trying to dive a little deeper into some of the things that you were interested in. So we're gonna do the social media training at the Palm Beach Post on March 10th. It's probably gonna be a breakfast. We'll have that all nailed down in the next couple of days here, and I'll be sending out another update for everybody. And then March 23rd at the Center for Philanthropy, where we are in downtown West Palm Beach, we're going to do something a little bit deeper on the donor information and give you some ideas on what you can do for your donors during the day, as well as special events and promotions that you might want to do on your own. So we're going to have that. And that one probably would be about a lunch one. So
I'm sorry, what time would be the social media one?
it's probably going to be a breakfast. It'll probably be like a 9:30 to 11 or something is what I proposed. So
But we'll send the email blast out as soon as we confirm everything.
yeah, with the registration link so you can sign up.
And we do, if you don't have a marketing person here with you today, we do encourage you to bring your marketing person to probably both of the workshops. A donor relations, obviously, for donor engagement. But it's good to just help promote, regardless of what you're doing on either side, whether it's the fundraising or the marketing end, you're probably gonna want that person tweeting about it, Facebooking, and helping you get the word out.
So I'm excited about this one, so I'm going to talk about it. We are going to have a social media contest. We're probably going to have 2. I'll just go ahead and spill the beans. But the first one is going to start February 1st. We do have a little iPad mini that we'd like to give you as a prize, and it's really going to be easy. From February 1st to the 20th, you're going to post a picture, and you're going to use GreatGive15 as the hashtag GreatGive15. Use our logo in creative ways. I put some things up there. I mean, it could be as simple as your staff holding a sign. It could be kids. It could be animals. It could be whatever you want to do with our logo. You have the logo in the resources tab. You have it on the website. Do whatever you'd like. And just post it on Facebook and Twitter, because those are the 2 primary social media channels that we use. Tag us. And after the 20th, we're going to look at everything. The Great Give team is going to pick the most creative, and then we're going to give the top 3 to our presidents, the United Way and Community Foundation presidents, to pick a winner, and you'll get a mini iPad. So I think it'll be fun. We'll promote, we'll start the buzz, hopefully get out a lot of other nonprofits involved, and build up the buzz. So, and, well, I'm not supposed to get up, but I do have signs. So I've got 2 sets of signs, which you can kind of see here. Those are out for you guys to use. I'm going to keep 2 at the Community Foundation, and Lexi is going to keep 2 at United Way. You can come by our office anytime and pick it up if you want to use one of our boards, and have somebody hold it, and then just come back the next day or in 2 days or whatnot and bring it back, and they're free for your use if you'd like to use them.
We did do it last year, and it worked out pretty well. Everybody was respectful, would take it for a day or 2, bring it back unharmed. But they are also pretty cheap to
Yes.
make, so
it's
if you
about
wanted to.
$20. I got them done at Sir Speedy if you wanted just to have one for the next couple of months.
That's what I was.
Yeah, really easy.
Is the logo online?
Yes, in the resources tab. Yeah, that graphic is on the resources tab, and then I just had Sir Speedy do the hashtag on the backs, so it's a front and back sign.
So I think we've driven the point home enough that, it's really the promoting. Start now, go for it, get creative, have fun with it, and just be sure to tag us if you have any questions about anything. We're all here for you. Are there any more questions for today?
So
I don't have our contact information in the PowerPoint. It's actually on the website, all of our contact information in the
Rules and
rules and
FAQs.
FAQs page.
It's
of
all
our
together.
Emails and everything.
Yes.
Email, phone.
Yep. phones.
Thank you all for joining us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Keisha Hours. Keisha Hours.
Thank you.
Hello, Jack. I'm well. I need to go and look. How about if I look and I'll give you a bar? I don't think I did. Because you know what happened is when you submitted it, maybe you didn't have everything that had to be, it didn't say. It's the same changes. And that, as Derek said, is the submit button. That save changes when you hit it,
They were incomplete, great give.
then that's why I didn't get them. Pull everything together that you need to fill it out.
nothing there.
And complete it all.
There's nothing there.
Click the
And I
save
even
changes, and that I should get it. If, after you do
we are
that, you
not
should get an
listed.
email.
Yeah,
So
any
check your
questions
box
locally,
and your junk.
contact us.
And if you don't get something, call
Originally,
me.
I was able to
Okay?
see
And my
all the
information's in the rule and
nonprofits
FAQ.
online.
All right.
I can't see anything.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm so glad you're going to participate.